Number one is the bear crawl. Bear crawl, you're going to be on your hands and knees. You're going to press your toes down into the ground, raises your knees up from the floor, and that's where you hover. You can do any variations of this. You can do a variation where you bring one leg up, sort of like a donkey kick. Your arms are going to be holding strong and steady in front of you, and they're going to be kind of keeping your shoulders away from your ears, and your hands are going to be right out underneath your shoulders. You don't want them pressing forward. You don't want them too far back, which would be rare, but kind of pressing just right out. This allows you to really sustain your arms and really work your core versus too much of your arms while you're doing the actual exercise. It will work your arms as well. Another variation that you can do is that you can move side to side in this. This helps with more rotational stability as well because you're having to brace as you move. Another one that I love is where you're just doing a weight drag as you're in this bear crawl position. It works on that coordination of upper trunk movement, lower trunk stability, and is a great addition to your exercises. Number two moves on to more of an isometric hold. And you can do this in a deadlift position, or you can do this in the position that I talk about. It's more of a kneeling hip hinge position. This isolates out more of your glutes instead of your hamstrings as a deadlift would, and it also isolates out your trunk. You can hold this position with different weights in different angles. And so it basically stresses your low back, stresses your core, and makes it have to work and hold. This strengthens your low back as well as your core. Now, as you're doing this exercise, you want to start in kind of a tall kneeling position, then you'll hip hinge forward. Your butt will go back some, your chest will go down forward, and your weight will be mostly on your knees. Very slightly, like maybe 5% or so, just the weight of your legs on your feet. If you find that you're using your quads for this, then you're probably putting too much load onto your feet. That's when you shift more onto your knees and offload that. This will help you with that isometric hold. This is also where if you get any low back kind of tension as you're doing your exercises, this is where you can understand your pelvic movement and how that affects your low back movement. If you get back stress in this, then you're going to just tip your hips forward just a little bit and then tips your hips back, more so your pelvis back and forth, and you'll find a position of comfort. This is your flat back or more neutral position. You'll find that your abs are on the front, you know your core is working, abs, and as it comes around the sides of your body into your back, this is your stability and kind of like your soda can. You'll find that your pelvic floor is raised up, your diaphragm is nice and engaged as well, and you're holding steady through that midsection. You can also think about bringing your shoulder blades down and back and holding that as you would for your deadlifts and thinking about kind of breaking the bar per se or breaking your weight, kind of doing an isometric external rotation onto that weight as well. This leads into our upper back stability and our full trunk stability for helping with deadlifts and also squats. The third and final exercise is kind of similar to number two, but instead of more deadlift, like kind of essence, it's more squat essence. This is a figure eight. You're going to be holding kind of a wider squat stance, and you're going to be kind of tossing, or not tossing, don't toss your weight in this one. You're going to be passing your weight in between your legs in a figure eight. You're going to do one direction, and then you're going to do the other direction. You're holding this pattern, and your upper back is kind of doing the wiggle and helping you with moving that weight around. If you have shorter arms, this is going to be a harder exercise for you. If you have like monkey arms like I do, it's a little bit easier to pass the weight without having to move your body. But same thing goes is that you're stabilizing that lower back hip kind of movement, and your quads will work a ton on this one. And you're moving through your upper back. This is how our body is meant to work. It's meant to move and rotate through our upper back. A lot of times whenever we're doing our squats, we need thoracic extension and low back stability. Well, we don't have that kind of differentiation between the two, and this exercise helps with it. It helps you use your lowermost core, and it helps you use your upper core for that rotation and movement. It's a great exercise to add in. And these are also great warm-ups. And so if you're doing your squats or you're going to be doing your deadlifts, add these to your warm-ups or even the exercise before you hop into, or even that it combos in as a superset. You'll do your squats, or you'll do your figure eights, then you'll do your squats. You do your figure eights, then you do your squats. If you're going to do your deadlifts, you can do a hold, as warm up, and then you go on your deadlift supersets. It's a great way to add these things in. I hope that you try these and I hope they help you. And if you want more like this, hit the subscribe button.